Matt Scoggin told me you had no water for 6 days in your apartment during that ice storm. How were you able to overcome that adversity and win 2 Big 12 conference titles?
Oh man, that was really hard.
What can we look forward to tomorrow in the platform events?
Well, history. Jordan Wendell's looking to win 4 straight platform titles for the first time. No man's ever done that. The judges are looking for that control. They start judging the arm stands as soon as the feet leave the platform. They want to see you get completely straight, show control at the top of that arm stand, hold it for 3 seconds, which Jordan did. And look at that. He just springs off the platform. He makes it look like it's a springboard, Kyle, and it's not. Kyle, a woman to watch, is the junior from Texas, Paola Pineda. She's been 4th. She's been 3rd on 3 meters. So tonight is her chance. He jumped straight up, just showed so much athleticism and grace and poise and lined it up, disappeared in the water. Got 8.5 and 9s on that dive. That's 74.20 points for Cover. His last competitive platform dive at Texas happens right now. He knows how to make a statement. My goodness, Jordan Wendell becomes the first Big 12 men's diver to ever win 4 consecutive platform titles. My goodness, Kyle. I think that was the best entry he had all night. Jordan, this is your 3rd career Big 12 title on the 3-meter springboard. What made this one unique?
Just with all the obstacles that have been put in front of all the athletes, including myself, and just having the opportunity to compete in general has been a blessing.
It's absolutely incredible just watching her, and even though she's only 14, her presence, her confidence, and how well she executes these dives.
Even though you're high up, Kyle, on platform, you still want to be aggressive. You still want to get a lot out of that cement surface, even though it's hard. The judges are looking for height when you get to the edge of that platform. The Texas native O'Neal won her first Big 12 Conference Championship title on the 3-meter springboard. She became the 4th freshman to win a title on 3-meter, and she could make history tonight if she wins back-to-back 3-meter and 1-meter titles, the first freshman to ever do that. But she is seated behind her teammate, Paola Pineda, the junior from Veracruz, Mexico. I talked to Coach Matt Scoggin this morning after her prelims. He was very happy with Paola's performance. Look at this. This is a huge dive, a forward 3.5. She makes all of the flips above the springboard with such a clean entry. Kyle, that is a huge dive. You shattered the meet record and you won your first Big 12 Conference Championship title. What was key for you tonight?
I think staying relaxed.
We call that dipping the board, which is very hard to do. You can see he's so strong and powerful. Right there, the springboard actually goes into the water, and he completes the dive above the board.
She actually started not as a gymnast, but a trampolinist. So you can imagine how well trampoline translates to diving, just the height, the rhythm. It's almost like dance, and that control that she has in the air. So the years of training that Krista Palmer has, and to walk away with a bronze on the women's springboard behind 2 Chinese divers is just absolutely incredible.
You put on a great show for all of us. You become the first Big 12 men's diver to win 4 consecutive titles on the platform. What does that feel like?
It's exhilarating, being able to do this for my family in Cottonwood, for my dad.
It's like a machine, right? You push a button and he just goes. He does these flips above the 10-meter platform. He receives 2 10s and a 9.5 on this reverse 3.5 somersault in the tuck position. Just lovely. You know Wendell liked it from his reaction coming out of the water.
81.5,
He just knows how to find that balance of staying in control from the start to the finish on that inward, just lining it up. He rips the bottom of that dive. Really nice reverse 2.5 somersault in the tuck position. It's a big dive for Burt right now at this point in the competition. We'll take a look at that again. See, she gets her arms all the way through. Tight tuck. Beautiful kick out. Very tight. Very much so in line. Her teammates love it. Look at that. Wow. That was a picture-perfect entry. My goodness. She made very little splash going into the water. You heard that rip pop noise. Kyle, it's amazing with what all these athletes have been through, and to see dives executed like that, the judges loved it. Her coach, Carla Helder, actually switched her power leg due to her injury. Carla said, God gave you two legs, honey. Use them both, which in diving, your power leg is that leg that you push on to get that momentum of the springboard. It's all about the complete dive. From when you're standing on the edge of the springboard, getting into a tight pike, squaring out and lining it up. Girl knows how to compete, what can I say? Holy smokes, that was a beautiful back 3.5. Look at the height. He almost gets 2 flips above the 10-meter platform, pikes out. She almost looks like a dancer when she's doing her hurdle on the springboard, and you'll see how much height she gets. We've got the double angles. She's straight off the springboard, a tight twist, and just lines the dive up so nicely, finding vertical. Very nice dive. You heard that pop noise. It almost sounds like a gun going off. She ripped that dive on the entry. She also did a reverse 2.5, and Pineda is just not afraid to jump. It doesn't matter if she's on 1 meter, if she's on 3 meter, if she's on 10 meter. She is consistent with her jump and her aggression on the takeoff of all of her dives. Matt, congratulations. Your diver, Paula Pineda, set a new meet record and won her first Big 12 Conference Championship title. What has been so impressive about her diving in this year in particular?
This year in particular, I've just noticed just a real commitment to go the extra mile.
Diving is more mental than it is physical because your body knows what to do. You just have to trust in your hours and hours of training, both in dry land and in the water. You just got to train your mind, right? Who is mentally strong enough to cope with that fear? And I think once you get over that hump and you train your mental game, you're good to go. So Will, you can get up on that 10 meter and train those muscles. Just don't think about the fact that you're 32 feet above the water.
Just ignore that part, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We continue our Black History Month series with a pioneer in the world of diving. Diane Maiese is a 4-time All-American and a national champion. Now her goal is to pave the way for future divers through her program, Dive RVA.
I don't see myself as being more black or more white. I see myself as Diane Maiese.
Maiese defines herself by who she is to others.
Diving coach, mother, teacher, friend. I think that's also a big part on why I never thought of myself as someone who was breaking barriers or accomplishing things that other people hadn't before, because I wasn't driven by the color of my skin.
Maiese became the first black woman to win an NCAA Division III title in diving. She didn't even know she had made history at the time.
It's exciting, yet it's still sad, because that happened over 22 years ago, and I'm still the only one.
Maiese, who also became the first black Division I diving coach, says there are still barriers to break.
I think accessibility, the location of pools, and then on top of that, the cost. Diving's not an inexpensive sport.
As a diving community, we can change this together, and we are. The key, making the sport available to everyone.
A couple of the parents and I, we have gotten together. We have formed Dive RVA, and our goal is to fill that void. And so we will have a facility that anyone is able to try diving.
After an extra year of waiting, the Olympics in Tokyo are just over a month away. Right here in Richmond, Diane Maiese is trying to develop a new generation of Team USA hopefuls in diving.
I never thought that Richmond would be the place that it could actually happen. And now I know it is.
The sport of diving is beginning to flourish in the River City thanks to Diane Maiese and her Dive RVA program.
There are people in every corner who in some way have had a connection to diving or knew someone that dove, whether it was in the summertime growing up at their local pool or they watch it and so there's, one of their favorite sports to watch in the Olympics. Like, everyone wants to be involved in it somehow.
I followed the team to try and put into perspective their commitment and sacrifice. A day in the life of a diver at Dive RVA.
They literally have to, because we don't have any facilities here, and we have to find time wherever we can.
The team started their day at Gym Quest Gymnastics in Rockville to do their dryland training, then drove 46 minutes to Fork Union Military Academy to use their diving boards. These are just two of the many local venues that are utilized.
It's shocking for people to hear that every time one of these pools that are being built, which is wonderful that we're getting another Olympic-sized pool, but it doesn't include the Olympic sports of diving especially. We just have swimming for right now in Richmond. So we're trying to expand and make sure that happens.
Maiese is also trying to pave the way for more diversity in the sport. A former elite diver herself, she is happy to see young athletes of color continuing to break barriers. Kristen Hayden just missed out on Tokyo, placing 4th on the 3-meter springboard, 2 spots away from making Team USA.
I felt like this was the year that I needed to go to trials. I needed to go and watch history in the making. To have 3 young ladies of color not only qualify but go and participate was huge, because when I was an athlete, I was told that doesn't matter how good I get, I would not represent our country in the Olympics. And to have Kristen Hayden place top 4, my heart, I definitely was crying up in the stands when I saw how well she did and how strong she finished. She let me know that she's not done yet. She wants to make that team, and she's going to train for 2024, which I know she can do it. So it will be amazing to see the next step, the next barrier that she breaks by actually making a team.